Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, everyone. So, this week we are wrapping up our meal prepping series for the Wellness Wednesday, and I'm going to get a chance to kind of review some of the things that we've been going over the last few weeks. If you happen to miss that, you can always watch the replay. And if you didn't and you are here today enjoying, I did want to let you guys know that in the Time and Compass group, I just have a few spots left. Some people are kind of filtering in, so I don't have very many available spots left, but there is still spots for group coaching, and our theme is meal prepping for the entire month of August. So we do start that in on Sunday, and with that, you'll be getting daily educational posts. Good morning, Wendy. You'll be also getting a opportunity to have challenges and weekly Zooms. Wendy, you are a part of that group, and I know that you enjoy it as well. We meet every Saturday morning, and we just have breakfast together, and we talk and enjoy. It is a lovely, lovely group of ladies, and so if you are needing a little community to plug into, as well as get some meal prepping quick tips to start your new school year, this is a great opportunity to do that, because that's what we're going to talk about all of August. So, in the middle part of July, we started the meal prepping series, and so the first one that we talked about was why we meal prep, and then the second one that we did last week was about where to begin with meal prepping, and then the last one today, we are going to be talking about some faves. And so if you are joining in, if you're watching this on the replay, #replay, but then also give us your tips on what you love to prep as we kind of go through. So I'm going to start with breakfast and kind of move through lunch, dinner, and snacks. And so as I'm doing this, if you have certain things that you really enjoy, kind of plug and play with those, because then that way everybody can kind of glean off of that. So I know Wendy preps everything that she does ahead of time, and then she is out and about on the road, and she is an amazing resource in regards to prepping. And so Wendy, if you have quick tips, I know you might be busy right now on the road, but if you want to put those in later on, we would appreciate your lovely advice too, because you are a prepping queen. So that's the other thing with the group, is that there are some good pros in the group that you can glean a lot of educational information from too, not just moi. But anyways, I will get going. So for breakfast, for me, what I usually do is have at least 2 breakfast options for me and my family through the week. And so for me, I will usually make breakfast, Saturday and Sunday, because I have a little bit more time on Saturday and Sunday. I usually have help. My husband's home, and I can spend a little bit more time in the kitchen during those times, because we aren't rushing out right away. And so I will double or triple a recipe, whether it's pancakes, muffins, oatmeal, eggs and veggies, you name it, I've done it. I just make enough so that way there's always options when we open up the fridge. The worst thing for me is to get up in the morning and have like craziness going on and me feel very frazzled and not know what I'm going to make first thing in the morning. And so I enjoy having something already done, and then it also takes a lot of the stress out of it, because I say, okay, here we go, here's breakfast, you can either have this or this, and these are our options, So when you do make your muffins, I always double my recipes. If you are someone that is living solo, or you don't have a lot of people that are going to eat the same things, then making one would probably be enough. But I always make double, and then I always freeze one batch, and so that kind of helps me out to where I'm prepping for my freezer as well as the fridge and keeping things, fresh. So I also like to make sure that I have oatmeal in the fridge at all times. And so a lot of people go, well, is that good the second day? I will tell you, like, my middle son loves day-old oatmeal. Like, I don't know, he doesn't tell the difference. And so I make a double or triple pot of that, and then I put it into individual containers for them. And then when I go to warm it up the second time, I just add a little bit more milk. I warm it up. He's good to go with that. I usually cool it down with some frozen fruit, because when he wakes up, he wants it like now. And so that kind of gives you a good consistency with the oatmeal. And then I know I've talked about in the past how I add egg whites to that, and when you reheat it, it does taste just as well, and you don't taste the egg whites in that. And so if you have questions about that, DM me or ask me below, and I can give you the skinny on adding egg whites into oatmeal. But that's kind of breakfast for us. It's not anything too crazy. I just make sure we have at least 2 options to kind of go back and forth with, that I'm not having to cook during the day. And so my oldest is able to cook an egg if he wants to. And so if he says, hey, I don't want that or that, then I'm like, okay, cool. So you can, cook an egg. You can make you some toast. There's some yogurt in the refrigerator. There's a few options that are a little bit different for him. So then kind of moving into lunch, a lot of times those end up being leftover days. And so one of the hacks that I always do is I don't ever put a casserole or a dish into the fridge unless it's already pre-portioned out into specific Tupperware containers. And so like if we have a casserole, I have certain dishes that have like half of a casserole in that dish, and then it has another blank in it for like veggies. And so from that, I never take the 9x13 casserole and put it into the fridge. I always break those up into the proper proportions for either my husband or myself. And then from that, I know I can kind of grab and go. This also sets me up for success for him, because I will rotate in like at a certain part of the fridge where his leftovers are. And so then he can kind of grab and pull every day based off of what he's doing. And so if he's not going to be in the office, if he doesn't have access to a microwave, of course, for him, I make sandwiches or wraps or different things like that too. But he does have hot options if he's going to be in the office and available to warm those up. So for me, I usually typically do leftovers too. If I'm going to be out and about, my quick summer go-to is going to be, like half of a pepper, and I put some turkey meat in that, and then I add extra fruits or vegetables. I usually try to make lunch be like an FP base, and then depending on what I've done for exercise or how I'm feeling I need to be fueled, I can easily take that FP and either turn it into an E or turn it into an S based on, adding either a carb or a fat with it. And so that's kind of how I usually do lunches. I also love to prep the mason jar salads. I don't know if you guys have ever done that. Like, I saw the recipe for many, many times, and I was like, oh man, that just doesn't look like it's going to be very good. That doesn't look like it's going to be very much food. But it keeps the salad really good. I mean, for almost 2 weeks for me. And it is an exorbitant amount of food. You wouldn't believe how much you can actually fit into a mason jar in regards to salad. So if you have a mason jar salad recipe that you guys like, let me know in the comments below. I would love to share a few of those. And I usually end up taking the leftover ground meat or chicken and adding that into the mason jar salad, and it makes it very, very easy to prep. So that's a good option, as well as, soups are more so in the winter. Or I always like to do that apple tuna slaw. That's a really good one too, if you haven't seen that recipe. I do believe it's in the Trim Healthy table, but that one is quick and easy, really fast for the go. And then I usually also meal prep my kids' lunches, which seems crazy, but if I don't, I feel like I'm in the kitchen all day long. And so I'll kind of just start an assembly line with them and get all of that done, and then I put those into the fridge as well. And so with that being said, they can kind of pick and pull which one they want. So they have 5 days, go pick your lunch. It kind of gives them an opportunity to make a choice. And then the only thing that I usually have to do with theirs is like cut a veggie. And so usually it's like bell peppers or fruit or carrots or something like that. And so I'll give them that option. Hey, what do you want for your vegetable today for lunch? And then they can help me cut that and peel that. But everything else is done. So their sandwich or whatever they're going to have. I know a lot of times I'll do Joseph Pitas with them. I've done Joseph Pitas pizza, just various things that they enjoy. But I always kind of add that veggie in last because it does tend to go icky after 2 or 3 days. And so I don't cut that one up. But the fruits usually do. Like, so I'll pick a hearty fruit like an orange or an apple, grapes, even strawberries, and put them into like a section of those. If you guys haven't ever heard of the Bent Go boxes, those are amazing. I've never had anything spill or leak in those boxes, and it keeps everything really fresh for a week plus in my experience. So It's a great brand if you're looking for something for the kiddos when you go back to school this coming fall. So moving on to kind of dinner, I always plan my dinner off of what we are doing. And so some nights of the week we have events, or some days during the week we are going to be gone all day long and come home right when it's dinner time. And so those, I usually end up prepping out a crock pot meal or an Instapot meal. And so some of my faves that we really like is the Wipe Your Mouth Barbecue on page 43. I know, Wendy, you like that one as well. And I enjoy putting that one on a sweet potato, like a half of a sweet potato with like broccoli on the side with nutritional yeast. Amazing. And what I love about the Wipe Your Mouth Barbecue is that it usually makes so much that I do freeze individual containers of that. And that makes it really easy for a grab and go later on that I can add on top of any vegetable. And it's quick and easy. And that one's a really good one that freezes. And so I will tell you that in advance. The other one that I usually is a go-to if I have company coming over is the Creamy Verde Chicken Chili. And that's on page 78 of Trim Healthy Table. That is always a crowd pleaser. And I can easily make it into a crossover for company. So I can add some tortilla chips to it. Or I can make like a quesadilla on the side for the kids. Those types of things. To kind of keep that one a little bit more neutral. It does have a lot of spice to it, depending on what kind of green chili that like salsa that you use. But I enjoy that one. The kids, not so much. It's a little bit too hot for them, but I can usually spice it down or add up the heat when I put it into my bowl. And I like that one. Another one is just regular chili. They have an option for it on Trim Healthy Table 176 for the tricked out trimmy to bisque. That one I have made several times as well, and my family really likes that if you're looking for a high protein but no traditional meat option. So it's like a meatless option for that. And that one I love taking the leftovers on that, and then I will make like a really good on-plan cornbread and then put that on the bottom and then bake the cornbread on the top of it, and it makes it into another meal. And so that's kind of where I was going to go moving forward, is that I usually always try to cook a protein and then see how I can make that last for 2 meals. And so, for example, when you have ground meat, like I'll take the ground meat and I won't season it for the specific meal that I'm using it for. I'll actually make it all and then I'll divide it. And so like I can have spaghetti over, with your ground meat, and then I can also have tacos, or I can also make it into Slim Sloppy Joes. But if I cook once and then have the option to like season it and make it into different things, that's a great way to prep out for those evenings when it's really stressful and crazy. How can you make, something that was going to be a 35 or 45 minute meal into a 5-minute meal? And that's a great way to do it, to already have your protein cooked. Another thing with either ground meat or your chicken is it's a great way to, if you double that, and then you can make it into the casserole dishes that you are going to prep out. And so with the casseroles, my kids aren't real big casserole fans. And so a lot of times what I will do is I will make the full 9x13 casserole, but I will cut it up into 8x8, like mini pans. And so it's a little bit less, but I mean, it always seems to be okay for us. And so just with me and my husband eating the casserole, I will take and I'll freeze one of those 8x8s, and then I'll eat one of the 8x8s. And so that makes it a little bit easier for us. And then I also know that I can just pull out that casserole. I can let it thaw during the day, and I can cook it in the evening, depending on which one it is. Sometimes I've already had it cooked too, but that gives you a good option too. Like if you are a smaller family and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't eat this 9x13 casserole 17 times. Divide it up into an 8x8, freeze half, and it makes it for a quick and easy meal later on down the road. And then for snacks, I typically try to keep those ones that I don't have to cook. And so I'll do like the 000 yogurt. I will do like a cheese stick with a fruit or a veggie. And so some of the things that I had talked about in the previous lives this month was making sure that you kind of wash everything when you bring it home, have everything already like cut up in regards to vegetables that can do that. So like your carrots, your celery, your peppers, things like that. That makes for easy grab and goes. I also really like smoothies, and so if you have a blend jet, that is a great way to be able to make smoothies. If not, what I had done in the past is I have made, a double or a triple batch of a smoothie, and then I will take it and put it into a shaker bottle. Take that actual shaker ball out, but I'll put it in the bottle and I'll stick it in the freezer, and then the morning of before I head out to work, I'll take it out. It keeps everything in my lunchbox nice and cold. It serves as a cool pack for my lunchbox, and then by mid-afternoon, I can put that shaker ball back into the bottle, shake it up, and it tastes like an amazing shake that you just made. So that's always an option too. When we get into the winter months, things kind of transition a little bit out of those smoothies and more into hot drinks. And so I do the same thing with, an afternoon coffee. There's a decaf or a tea. Add a little bit of collagen in there. Add a fruit or veggie. Something that's light and easy for an afternoon snack or mid-morning snack. But you can always have your non-perishables there in the winter too. So I know an easy like beef jerky, and I've talked about these in the past. Any of your freeze-dried fruits, they add up very quickly, so you can only use them in moderation, but those are a quick and easy ease. If you add it with like a turkey jerky or one of the small little bitty chomps, those work as well. My snacks tend to be pretty small, but that's just me. I kind of add up a lot on those non-starchies to kind of have the fiber fill me up more so than the actual baked good or things of that nature. I also like to do overnight oats as a snack instead of as a breakfast. I think that they make a really easy way to get another E in. E's are hard, I know, for some people to be intentional about, and so they're easy as a breakfast. I think it kind of comes natural to most of us to make an E breakfast. That's an easy way to do it. But when we kind of pull through the rest of the day, it's one of those things that, unless we're very intentional, it becomes something that kind of falls by the wayside because it's not as quick for the grab and go. And so those oatmeal cups make an easy way for that to happen as well. So that is what I had for you guys today. If you want more quick tips, if you want more accountability and challenges in regards to meal prepping, like I said, this month in August is a great way to do that. If you're watching this on the replay and you have suggestions, please type those in as well as hashtag replay, so then that way we can make sure that others are seeing the post as well. Lots of great quick tips in here, and if you guys have any other questions in regards to meal prepping or the group that's starting as of Sunday, let me know. DM me or put it in the comments below, and we can get you all squared up and set away. So thank you again for joining me, Wendy. I hope you have a blessed day, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.